And hello once again. Today is June. Wait a minute. Today is June 15th, recording 379, and I've entitled it Afraid No More. Afraid No More. Hopefully, these are my thoughts that I have put down. If it came to me, some things that I contemplated, and they brought me to this understanding. And this understanding is motivating me to take what I think is a huge step, which I will speak about in the message. And that step is a step that will personify a person's motivation. It will literally lock that person down. Doesn't necessarily make the world see where the person is, because the world will not understand, because it goes by the senses. But the person, because of his heart's desire and his link to spiritual truth, it locks him into what I believe he'll afraid no more. It appears that we live in a world of mazes that never seem to allow one to find comfort or freedom from. There always seems to be, for the most part, a greater strength than we. It seems that no matter how our parents tried to prepare us, it just wasn't enough. For we are the ones that have to overcome what they told us about. The adversities that present themselves to us. When we see them, we say, yeah, they told us about this. They told us about that. But they told us, do this, do that, but that wasn't the solution to take. And then to wait to see the result. And then we are poverty. I want you to just allow yourself to the area that you live in, or even the state that you live in, or even different little places in the country, but look at the whole world and look to see that these things exist everywhere. There's no place that these do not exist. Poverty, sickness, homelessness, lack of sustainable employment or supply, murder, fear, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes. I mean, I could just go on and on. If you turn on your TV, you see they're naming a new sickness, a new disease every day, a new pill, a new something, a threat at every turn. See, wait a minute, this exists everywhere. But yet, God created everything. That's the question that should pop in your head. Why did God create something that is full of this mess and put me in it? And the moment that we begin to see that these things exist everywhere, unbeknownst to us, we take in a strong man. We don't even know we're taking him in. His name is fear. Because then we wake up every day with fear announcing to us how hard it's going to be to navigate today. Fear then sets up within our conscience, and we fail to realize that this is the driving mechanism that hinders our successful living. He's so close to us, or it's so close to us, that we don't even know it's there until something of the magnitude that kind of gets our attention and throws us off guard. Or just think about the fact that you walk in a room and somebody hiding in the room jumps out, or what's the first thing that announces itself? Fear. And we don't realize that's that strong man. And even if you look out here and say, yeah, but there's people out here, they have money, they have success, they have this, they have that. Well, guess what? Even those people who have found the golden pot, guess what? They carry that same fear within them. They appear to have everything. We're made jealous looking at them because we hear their name, or we see their children, or we see them, and we automatically think what? They can come and go and do and spend and travel all over, never stopping to think about the fear that they're carrying with them. So now that we see that whether we're rich or poor, whether we're sick or well, whether we're financially stable or with employment or shelter and home, every person on the planet is doing what? Carrying that same fear. The fear of losing all. The fear of not having enough. And in some cases, those of us who are parents, fear of our children not making. And woe to those of us who are grandparents. We try to look 2 levels and see the ugliness that our grandchildren appear to have to grow up in. Fear, the strong man. We should now have a better understanding where it says, when the Spirit of the Lord man and cast him out, the man is a spirit of fear. But we're told perfect love casts out fear, right? And those who have the Spirit of God, it casts out all hatred and anything negative to it. Fear of losing all. So now here comes the question. And I remember when it used to come on TV. Is there really a God? Or if there was, is he dead? I saw a thing on Facebook today. It says, what I like about God, I need you to hear this. What I like about God is that he works harder than the devil. And I'm going, man, what channel are you looking at? I mean, if results are the work of the Spirit, shoot, the devil making straight A's. But like I said, everywhere you look, you can find something hindering man's success. Why in the world, why is this abysmal thing, hatred, poverty, sin, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, why is this thing everywhere? Does anybody ever make it? Is there a place on this earth that one can be assured of a lasting peace? Is there a harmony for me? If you're anything like me, you've asked yourself this question. Because you see stuff out there that even if you had money, it still can't get rid of sickness and disease. Can I ever expect to live a life of peace and comfort? Well, they tell you can, right? When? You die and leave here. But then, what do I have to get past after I die and leave here? I got to get past fear, because they told me I got to go through a judgment. And I might not be judged worthy, and God will, well, we know that one, right? He'll give me to the one who was trying to take me for my lifespan. Can I ever expect to live a life of peace and comfort? If we allow our thoughts to look beyond our personal position in life, we find that this place does not exist in the earth. Even those with the ability to separate themselves from the many threats, they must enclose or enslave themselves within prisons of freedom. That's a play on words. I enclose and enslave myself in a prison of freedom? Yeah. It's called a gated community. What are they trying to keep out? The element that does not meet their social qualities. So they put up gated communities. They put what? Electrical fences up. They put armed guards out around their houses. They put up security cameras. They put up many, many devices. But still, there is no assurance. Why? Because that crook knows how to beat every one of those devices. And the man who designed them knows. And even then, they are still subject to non-physical threats that money or protected living spaces cannot assure. The question then is, why is mankind subjected to such insurmountable obstacles? Well, Romans 8:20 states that man was subjected unwillingly to these things, to these threats, in the hope that he would choose wisely. But how can he choose wisely except he be given options? That man, he doesn't know how to choose. He doesn't know how to be righteous. He doesn't even know there is a God, that first man. When kids come here, some of them come here with a knowledge of the spirit world, with a knowledge of God. And what do the parents and grandparents do? No, that's your imagination. Get rid of that. And they become, and the grandparents, what? Fearful. But it says God subjected mankind in the hope that he would choose rightly. And we teach our kids, this is right, this is wrong. Always tell the truth, right? And now on TV, what are we seeing? Corruption everywhere. Everywhere. And then you look in the Bible and it says they will justify these corruptions. They will call wrong right. They will call the liar the truthful man. Yesterday I heard, and I was shocked, that the head, I don't know who she is, in Uvalde, has declared that no one can talk about those 19 kids and teachers getting killed for the next 6 months. We'll talk about it in 6 months. What? That's somehow they've justified that. Even the parents of the kids, y'all can't talk about it. So that right there tells you something. Something's wrong. You see, God subjected us unwillingly in a hope that we would choose him. According to history, there has never been a man or woman to achieve this peace that all. Many have achieved what has been declared great successes in various categories, only to depart this world, leaving every achievement here. What then is the answer? What is the way to peace? When we recognize that there must be a reason for this world of chaos, a solution, we find Jesus who declares that by and through him, this freedom and peace can become eternal. I come that you might have life, peace, and freedom, and that you might have it abundantly. What is he saying? I come into this chaos with you to share with you wisdom that you might be of the same mind that I am. And Paul said, and this mind we have, this is the mind of Christ abiding in everyone. So therefore, there is a solution if only we can choose rightly. By reading the testimonies and reviewing the life works of those who are named as achievers, should come the thought that mankind was not created to be under threats always, and that mankind was not created to suffer for other sins. We begin to peel away the peelings of the onion skin. Because man has been told that because of Adam and Eve, he will suffer in this world and be judged accordingly. And we're constantly saying, but I didn't do anything. What did I do? Well, if you will open your eyes and begin to read the scriptures, you will see that you did absolutely nothing, and that those sins were taken care of, sacrifice was made for them, and every man was set free that he might be able to do what? Choose rightly. Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. To understand and follow the Christ would negate the threats of life and open the doors to everlasting peace and freedom. These things would no longer be vague desires or wishful hopes and dreams. They would be tangible qualities to be enjoyed to the fullest, and no threat can separate them from the one who has attained them. There then must come the greatest step of an individual in life. As I said, this is what comes to me, the greatest step, to walk away from life and follow the path of the Christ, to dedicate the heart to a new and living way, to lose all desires as established in the world, to take on a new language, to plant spiritual seed with an inner knowing of the resulting value. Through my inner vision, I see the harvest, and I see the harvest is great. I see the seed that's planted, and I know that it will produce. Why? Because my inner vision has revealed this to me. No longer do you try to lead people into the kingdom of heaven, but you have but one responsibility. Get yourself in. Get into heaven, though it looked like Noah. What did Noah do? He climbed. Everybody wants to focus on a big boat. But to me, it was shown that Noah climbed into a covenant. He climbed into a covenant that assured that he could live harmoniously with everything that was to exist in the world. A covenant with God. But to the world, what did it look like? It looked like he was crazy. To believe that this world and its uncertainties will pass away even as day follows night. To realize that your responsibility is to assure yourself of the reliability of the promise and the oath made by God. That being unable to swear by anything greater than himself, he swore by himself. And the oath and the promise being unchangeable, and because it's impossible for him to lie, this is the step that I speak of. Oh, yes, you'll still live in the world. You'll still talk to people. But you will realize now that they that speak of the world and concerns of the world, and those that speak of trying to save the world, you'll know that it's the Father. The fruitage of the Father that doeth the work. Jesus said, in and of myself I can do nothing. And I have to believe that had he the power to change this world, he would have done it. But he didn't. What did he do? He gave us the ability to choose rightly, that we would change ourselves individually. To know the truthfulness of the covenant, imperishable. That's going to take time, isn't it? I'm going to have to spend time with the oath. I'm going to have to spend time with the promise. I'm going to have to spend time with the scriptures, that I would know the truthfulness of this oath and this promise. To live in harmony with all of creation. When the loyalty of the heart is established, one will tire of the day of uncertainty and ask to be taught by that which was, is, and shall always be. If God exists, I must believe that God is intelligent enough to speak with me. And I must believe that I can hear. And I must believe that he can keep his word. I will never be satisfied until these things are done. No more trying to lead others, but to simply find my own salvation for my own soul's sake. To realize that one must first attain that which he would give away. Intellectual knowledge and directional pointing assures nothing. It is only the assurance of resting that fulfills the heart's cry. The oath and the promise both agree that they can and will provide the heart and soul with a blessed assurance. They declare that when you are confronted with an enemy, a threat, keep in mind, every threat in this world declares itself stronger, higher, undefeatable. And because you have dedicated your heart to reap the fruitage of the eternal seed planted within, you will hear the Spirit's voice declare, be not afraid. It is I. How can I make such a promise? Because I have heard it before. But I have not heard it to the extent where I could just simply rest in it, knowing. But this is the step that must be taken now, once and for all, to enter in behind the veil and leave this world of concern, knowing that there's nothing of myself that I can do. Therefore, you will proclaim your peace before the battle, and the battle shall prevail no more. We are to declare our peace before the battle. So therefore, when we see the threat of high gasoline prices, what should we be doing? We should not be rolling back our ability to go out and do the things that we become accustomed to. But if I can't immediately do that, what do? I go to the oath. I go to the promise. And the promise says to me, when you see the threat is sort of like the story where the king came down and I think it was against Hezekiah, and he put his armies out. He sent Sennacherib, and he told them, we're coming after you. We're coming over here. And you're running around here talking about you believe in God. Well, I want you to know that this king is more powerful than any God you believe in, and we're going to take you out. And even I'm going to come and I'm going to speak to your people in a language they understand. I'm not going to speak to you in a language and you interpret, because you may water it down. I want them to know I am a threat. And God is saying, when the threat of high food prices, when the threat of lack of baby formula, when the threat of war in Ukraine, you know, somebody says, when the threat comes that we're not going to make it filter those who should not be buying guns or whatever, we're going to upgrade millions of dollars to secure schools. And I'm saying, well, what's to stop that person going down to the beach and just shooting up everybody on the beach, or going to McDonald's, or going to a football game, or flying overhead and dropping a bomb? I mean, come on. You see, mankind, this world is full of threats. But the oath and the promise says, at the ongoing of the battle, declare your peace before the battle comes. Declare your peace, and that battle shall prevail no more. To me, this is the result of trusting in the Lord. Not wondering whether he's going to do, not wondering whether he can do, and not walking around talking about how good he is when that strong man is sitting right in the middle of my sofa in my favorite seat watching my TV, and there's nothing I can do because I'm scared. I'm scared to say anything to him. I remember when I was a kid, they used to say stuff like, don't say that, the devil might hear you. And I'd shut up. I don't want him to hear me. But now I don't care if he hears me or not. Let it be known and felt that every enemy or threat against the oath and promise shall be subdued. That's the oath and the promise. So as I take up concern about the threats coming at me, I am telling the oath and the promise what? You better hurry up or I'm going to do something. Or I'm going to stop enjoying what little I was enjoying because you're not doing anything. And God has said, look not at the things which do appear, for they are temporal. They pass. Cast down all things in your imagination that would exalt itself above the oath and the promise. In this, in dwelling in the oath, dwelling in the promise, in asking God to teach me, to declare within me that you are there, to make me feel that you are here, that my language would speak out, and I would declare my peace and my freedom. And in this, I shall be afraid no more. God bless.